Hey Pisces rising signs of the zodiac, welcome to your horoscope for September. Big month, we've got 2 eclipses. The new season begins with the Equinox on the 22nd. Your chart ruler continues its cruising mode in Cancer, where it's exalted in your natal 5th house, things that bring you joy and pleasure. And the big news of the month is, from my humble astrological perspective, is the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, your first house. There's a lot going on in the month of September astrologically. Let's get to it. Pisces rising signs. Saturn returns to Pisces on the 1st of September for a 5.5 month stay. Saturn's going back into your natal first house, Pisces rising sign, until February 14 next year. Big shift here. Saturn going back into the first. So what can you expect as a Pisces rising with Saturn going back into the natal first house for 5.5 months? Well, you're certainly getting your ducks in a row kind of transit with Saturn back in the first, knowing the pros and cons of what it's going to take to build something of substance that moves you into a new life direction. Looking at your friends, your social connections, the peeps, your peeps that are in your life, your allies and benefactors are going to come into focus and review with a discerning eye. Who you knock shoulders with, are they going to help you over a line? Do they improve your sense of self? Do they empower you, or do they siphon your energy and make you feel lost in a crowd? Saturn here is certainly going to help you see the proverbial forest for the trees on who is in camp Pisces rising signs, who's your tribe, who's your, for better words, social backbone, and who is the hidden enemies that are stopping you from progression. Big transit when Saturn goes into the natal first house for 5.5 months. Saturn is also the ruling planet that loves to eliminate distraction. Saturn loves discipline, structure, order, patience, determination. Saturn loves hard work, loves it. And in the natal first house, Saturn is bringing you responsibility. And it's going to take a lot of gumption. And you're in a position to really take ownership over your own life direction, your body, your health, your appearance, what you want to begin. Saturn brings you plenty of reality checks for the next 5.5 months on how you can muscle up, remove the distractions, the blockages to move forward confidently come February 14, 2026, where you can anchor into building something of substance regarding legacy, things that you love and value that support you in a tangible way. Really good astrology, actually, from my humble perspective, with Saturn going back into the natal first house for one last round, really putting you to task. You want it. You want to feel strong and sovereign. You want to feel authentic. Well, I'm really going to throw it at you, Pisces rising sign. And this is the time to not shy away. This is the time to be mature and feel strong in the self. Get down to it and eliminate emotional distraction, people, places, and things that siphon your energy and block progression. Saturn's going to make it very obvious who, what, where, and if anything is the key protagonist in keeping Pisces rising signs small regarding their well-laid plans and feeling their strong, beautiful best. Really nice. Saturn will go direct on November 27 at 25 degrees. That may be a key date for you to keep in the back of your mind, because Saturn going direct on the 27th of November may be the make or break day regarding your well laid plans moving forward that really does take your life in a new direction. And then we'll keep going direct in your first house, and we'll land in Aries again on February 14, 2026 till April 12, 2028. And that's where Saturn's really going to be putting you to task in building skills, resources, assets, and possessions, things that can support you, that are going to have lasting value, that really do make you sit up straight and be very proud of yourself and the effort that you only have to tap your own self like on the back with kind of transit. This is all about you being the instigator of muscling up and shaping up and getting what you want in a very structured, disciplined, practical, mature manner. Really nice. Saturn in the first. Enjoy. We also have from the 1st to the 30th, we've got the outer modern planets Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, all retrograde. Uranus officially goes retrograde on the 6th of September. And they're in sextiles and trines. So the outer generational planets, the modern planets, are giving us hints of the future with these sextiles and trines, which is nice. So we're getting intel, for better words, coming from the fourth house for you as a Pisces rising. This is your home life, domestic life, family, real estate, and property. You're getting hints from the fourth house about what the future's looking like or can look like with Uranus transiting in Gemini. You're getting hints from the 12th house where Pluto is. So this is about where things make you feel like you're just lost in the source. You don't have control and agency. Pluto is really bringing to the surface the obvious on what you do in isolation and solitude can't really cut it for you moving forward. So that's really nice when you're getting hints from the 12th about, I've got to get out of this situation. I feel institutionalized. So that's beneficial for you. And you're also getting hints from Neptune in the second house of Aries, which is your tangible worlds, assets, possessions, skills, and resources that you value that can bring in financial support that helps you and your personal agenda. So really nice with the modern planets sextiling and trining one another for the whole month of September moving forward into the next months. We like that. On the 2nd of September till the 18th, we have Mercury zooming through Virgo in your natal 7th house of relationships and your significant one-on-ones. Mercury is at top speed in the solar system. Such a quick transit for Mercury, which is a shame because Mercury is in domicile and is exalted in Virgo. I think we all could have done with a bit more Mercury well positioned in its sign of rulership, Virgo. Alas, it is what it is. So you have 16 days of Mercury powering up your relationships and significant one-on-ones. It's in the 7th house. So this is really nice for social connections, getting together with those that you love to be around. It's a topic of marriage and it's the house where we get pleasure. And Mercury is really bringing it to the Pisces rising signs. Lots of energy and experiences that are quite uplifting with Mercury in the 7th house of relationships. You might be the beneficiary of lots of love and attention. Your significant one-on-ones can be exciting, maybe planning travel trips. You may benefit from financial contracts and agreements, taking time away with people that you love to hang with. Really nice with Mercury in the 7th house from the 2nd till September 18. Enjoy it. We've got Mercury exalted and in domicile. This is the time to just enjoy the people you love hanging with and considering such things as contracts, agreements, and negotiations. Time to maybe weigh up, if you will, the practical components of your significant relationships in your life. Really good for DMs and going there and getting things just right between you and your significant relations and partnerships in your life. Really nice with Mercury in the seventh, where he's very strong, exalted, and in domicile. Mars, our planet of action, passion, and aggression, continues in Libra, relational, fair minded, intellectual Libra in your natal eighth house until the 22nd of the month. So Mars continues ruffling up the natal eighth house for you. So, what is this all about? Well, Mars brings action and passion to things that you are connected with in a financial capacity. This could be stockbrokers, bankers, things like wills and inheritance. Those topics and subjects could really be going through an adaptation kind of time where there's a need, for better words, to know what's just, fair, and right when it comes to shared resources and those topics of inheritance, assets, and possessions are all up for review with Mars and Libra. So you may be very passionately engaging with building financial wealth for yourself if you're partnered up in any capacity, be it through marriage or even a business partnership. Then Mars is really bringing the energy to the natal eighth house to get things right, just, balanced, and fair and in flow. And if things are not quite right and happy in paradise, the Mars can make it very obvious that we need to talk about the obvious, which is how we, Pisces rising signs, are being influenced for better or worse by other people's finances. Interesting transit with Mars in the 8th until the 22nd of September. We have our first eclipse of the month of September happening on the 7th. And this is a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces in your natal first house. Wowza. It's at 15 degrees and it is a full moon. So we have a full reveal, a full on emotional expression, which indicates something has been achieved that has been potentially quite emotionally enduring, that's been quite personal for you. And now we get to release and let go, purge, and relax on the 7th of September. What an eclipse! It's magical when it's all about the self. So you have a changing of the guard happening here on the 7th of September that sets you into a new trajectory. This is closing down of a very long story or chapter that you have been emotionally invested in for quite some time. And now you get to graduate and move on, but not without a little happy dance and a little pat on the back for keeping on regarding whatever it is that you have been experiencing for quite some time in your own personal journey. Beautiful moment on the 7th of September. Enjoy it. The full moon lunar eclipse in your first house at 15 degrees. Oh, yeah, it's happy dance time, Pisces rising signs. Out with the old and in with the new, but not without a big celebration. On the 12th, we have Jupiter sextiling the Sun and Mercury. So we have a day on the 12th that can just feel ridiculously easy. We'll take it as above, so below, when the Sun is sextiling the Sun and Mercury. This is a flowy aspect, a sextile that indicates something of value regarding something we love, something that brings us harmony and cohesion is occurring on the 13th. So you may be the recipient of very good news that really does get your heart racing on the 12th. Lovely, lovely day astrologically when your chart ruler Jupiter is sextiling the Sun and Mercury. Maybe it's you being the bearer of good news to another. The next day on the 13th, we have Mercury conjunct the Sun. So this is a Cassimi. So we have Mercury in the heart of the Sun. Both the Sun and Mercury are at the same degree in Virgo in your natal seventh house of relationships. This is really, really nice. So the Sun energizes and blesses planet Mercury. That sounds a bit whimsical. Not really. When Mercury is in the heart of the Sun is like infusing planet Mercury, the planet of travel, finance, information, correspondence, with energy, life force, optimism. So Mercury is getting injected, if you will, with absolute inspiration on the 13th. And it's happening in that natal seventh house of marriage, significant relationships, one on ones in your life. There is something auspicious happening and brewing on the 13th of September. So if you're partnered up, if you are ready to sign on the dotted line, put a ring on it, shake hands, this can be the day where it all becomes very real, or a surprise proposal or invitation lands on the 13th. Whatever way you cut it, the 13th of September is a memorable day in your relationships house. The next day on the 14th, we have Venus bringing Mars good news. I mean, the astrology is amazing from the 12th to the 13th to the 14th. We'll take it as above, so below. So, Venus, which is transiting in Leo in your natal sixth house of work, health, and service, is bringing Mars something quite easily. It's a sextile. So Venus from the sixth house brings Mars in Libra in the eighth house, something of value, something that brings a smile to everyone's dial kind of day. So I like this astrology for the Pisces rising signs to get a contract, be in a new workspace, an opportunity to improve your daily routine. And it could be coming from a resource, a financial opportunity. And when we have doors open for growth and expansion, that feels valuable. We love it. It's going to take us in a new direction and it's financially beneficial as well. Then it's like all the boxes are being ticked to take proactive action that's going to improve your daily space on the 14th. Really lovely astrology. On the 17th, we have Mercury opposing Saturn retrograde. Yeah, this could be quite challenging this day when the realities of us versus other becomes very real. So this can feel like imposter syndrome coming over us, or we're not too sure. Oh my God, what have we got ourselves into with any significant one on ones in our lives? It's just a moment where we may feel nerves, like cold feet kind of moment, and just really processing the road ahead it's going to develop, no doubt, but boy, oh boy, it's going to take a lot of time and effort and grit to get to what we want when it comes to you and another. So interesting on the 17th. Don't get lost too much in the sauce with this one. On the 18th, we have Mercury again opposing Neptune retrograde now. So 17th and 18th is all about the realities coming in fast about you and other. Nothing you can't handle, but it can feel mentally overwhelming. So deep breaths kind of days. So Mercury, when it ingresses into Libra, into your natal eighth house until October 6th, it's going to have the mind spinning and very active. So this could be a lot of travel, intel, and financial aspects of your life being in the focus from the 18th to October 6th. So Mercury brings action to the natal 8th house now. So financial interests that you have with other is going to be a focus. Maybe planning travel, maybe traveling a lot with this transit. You could also be in control of other people's finances and assets with this transit with Mercury in Libra in the 8th house as well. And that can be a lot of pressure. Or it could be a lot of communication, weighing up the pros and cons, what's fair, what's just, what's right when it comes to inheritance or finances that other people depend on you to manage that kind of transit. But Mercury in Libra is all about let's get things balanced, let's get things just right. So it can be a lot of hard realities regarding codependency with finances with this transit as well from the 18th to October 6th. But really good for researching, investigating financial opportunities, and going down the more denser tunnel regarding death, inheritance, assets, and possessions as well. Can't really sugarcoat it. It is the 8th house, but Mercury is really good at getting down to brass tacks when it's in fair minded, balanced, objective Libra. Moving on to the 19th, we have Venus now ingressing into Virgo, your house of relationships, until October 13th. So Venus is really bringing you plenty of opportunity to process the value of relationships in your life, who you love, who's got your back, who are you happy to sign on the dotted line, shake hands, and put a ring on it kind of transit with Venus in your natal 7th house from the 19th to October 13th. Beautiful. Venus in the 7th house of relationships. I like it. We also have on the 19th Mercury trining Uranus and Pluto retrograde. And this is really nice to iron out any nuances regarding real estate and property, finance, assets, possessions, inheritance, things that we otherwise don't want to go there about is easily to connect to on the 19th. So it can be surprises coming from the past out of nowhere that has a significance connected to inheritance, death, shared finances that impacts home, family, real estate, and property. Big day on the 19th, I think, for the Pisces rising signs. On the 20th, we have Uranus squaring Venus and the Sun opposing your chart ruler, retrograde Saturn. Wowza. Uranus squaring Venus. Well, Uranus is in a superior square to Venus. So this can be sudden, out of the blue changes. It sort of feels like the tectonic plates are being moved beneath your feet kind of day on the 20th when Uranus squares Venus in your house of relationships and other. So this can be a bit of a goalpost being moved kind of moment, or maybe even a call to take some sort of quick action within the family or a significant relationship in your life could be going through a bit of a disruption on the 20th. Nothing you can't handle, but it may feel like something's coming on quite fast that, no one's all coming kind of day on the 20th. And when the Sun opposes your chart ruler opposes Saturn, retrograde in your first house, it can feel like a lot of responsibility, like a call to action, a call to step up, either expected from you or a significant relationship in your life needs to get going on the 20th. Interesting astrology for all of us with these aspects connecting from Uranus, Venus, Sun, and Saturn retrograde on the 20th. We're all going through the same aspects on the same day, Pisces rising signs. We have our second eclipse of the month happening on the 21st of September. This one's at 29 degrees of Virgo, brand new moon, but it's a solar eclipse in that natal seventh house of relationships, your significant one on ones. So this is a quiet new beginning, but it's a solar one, which means this is all about stepping up to the plate kind of new beginning here, because the sun is about leadership, ownership, being authentic, loud and proud, being noticed. Excuse me, from the 21st of September moving forward, we have a revealing moment that's going to play out over the next 6 months between you and other. This could be a new contract, a new agreement, a new path forward that's going to feel very grounded and practical and make you feel very centered and together. Kind of new moon on the 21st. Anyone in your life or significance, Pisces rising sign, may be starting a brand new journey themselves. So this could be a partner bringing you news on the 21st. Any partner of any nature could be saying, hey, Pisces rising, guess what? I'm about to start a new journey and it's going to take me in a whole new trajectory and actually has a tinge of leadership connected to it. I'm going to be the big guy. Maybe this is about hearing news about a father in your life, Pisces rising signs as well. Your father could be starting a brand new journey because it's solar themes and they usually indicate things to do with fathers or father figures. So, big new beginning happening on the 21st of September with a new moon, partial solar eclipse in Virgo at 29 degrees. On the 22nd, we now bring in the equinox season. 22nd of September, equinox season begins. Brand new changes coming our way over the next 3 months with the equinox. So we are starting the autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere and the spring equinox in the southern hemisphere. Either way, for the next 3 months, we are adapting, flexing, and pivoting and trying to get into some sort of groove when we have the sun halfway through its journey of the zodiac when it lands in Libra on the 22nd of September. So the sun will be in your natal eighth house with Mercury until the 22nd of October. So now we really are bringing a lot of focus to that natal eighth house of shared resources. Are the people's finances that are entangled with ours? The house of death, inheritance, assets, and possessions. This is all on kind of transit. So this is fantastic for getting into spaces with people that can contribute and help you build wealth and things of substance for your future. Great for going down paperwork regarding wills, life policy procedures with the sun in the eighth. And it's also a great transit to finally detach and release yourself from relationships, contracts, and agreements that have been really quite wearing and tearing on the self with this transit as well, with the sun in the eighth house of Libra, the house of relationships, legalities, and fairness, justice, and equality. So you can cut away from connections that are imbalanced, not fair, not right. And the sun comes in and goes, I'll give you the energy to finally let it go with love, grace, and gratitude. That kind of transit with the sun in the eighth house for 4 weeks. We also have on the 22nd, Mars now shifting out of the natal eighth house of Libra and ingressing into the ninth house till November 3rd. Mars is in domicile in Scorpio. Very, very strong position for Mars to be when it's in its own sign of rulership. And this is your natal ninth house. So Mars is giving you action and energy and passion to pursue ninth house topics until November 3rd. This is rallying in hope and belief and conviction in what you love, what you are focused in on, no matter what you believe in, whatever epistemology you're engaged with, it's just yours. And Mars reboots that. So you may find yourself getting into research, educating yourself, getting into esotericism potentially. Either way, you are focusing in on faith and hope and having a more organic relationship with those aspects of your life. Mars in the ninth is fantastic for making travel plans, traveling further than your own backyard. We're talking long distance travel, pilgrimages, that sort of thing with Mars in the ninth. And it is also a fortuitous transit to get into academia, put an academic feather in your cap, go to a university, maybe do a course in a community college where you can develop a niche skill of interest with this transit. You may also experience lots of different people, places, and faces from different cultures. Foreigners, foreign places may really come into focus when Mars is so strongly positioned in your natal ninth house of Scorpio from the 22nd of September till November 3rd. You may be ready to open up your mind, body, spirit, and soul and get yourself out there on this beautiful blue planet kind of transit. And with life experience, we develop a philosophy, our own philosophy, and we can really feel quite monastic when we have Mars strongly positioned in Scorpio in the natal ninth house from the 22nd of September till November 3rd. Really nice transit, Pisces rising signs. Thanks for spending your time with me here going through your horoscope for the month of September, Pisces risings. I trust you have a stellar September. Your chart ruler Jupiter continues transiting in your natal fifth house of Cancer all the way up until the 30th of June 2026. So you'll have plenty of time to identify things that you create that bring you so much joy and pleasure. If they're on track or if it's time to readjust and change up your view of what is enjoyable in your life. Time to move the chess pieces on the chessboard and experience new variety when it comes to romance, pleasure, sex, children, if applicable to you. Fertility might be a focus, and also things that you create that artistically tick your boxes might really be going through some changes now that your chart ruler Jupiter is in the natal fifth house of Cancer, the moon's sign of rulership. So we will be focusing in on until the 30th next year on what emotionally fills your cup, what makes you feel safe and secure, and what is it about your heart's desire that keeps you engaged on the daily in a very emotionally fulfilled way will be your top priority with your chart ruler Jupiter in the fifth house of Cancer till 30 June next year. Really quite lovely. Fifth house trines the first house. So this is all about trying on Empress new clothes, getting a little bit freaky, and extending your reach a little bit more when it comes to social collaborations. Really nice with your chart ruler Jupiter in Cancer, the moon sign where it's exalted. Have a stellar September, Pisces rising signs. Till next time, stay cosmic.